Now I'm trying to move to the next abbreviation that you always see in chemical pathology, and this is what is known as the ACTH. ACTH. So ACTH is what the Adrenocorticotropic hormone. Okay, okay. Other people call it corticotrophin. Some people call it corticotropin. Okay, that's the issue we have in British and UK, you know, English. So adrenocorticotropic hormone is there. So what is it? Just like I told you guys, you know, it's it's called corticotropin. Other people call it corticotrophin. So it's a peptide hormone, okay, and it's secreted by the anterior pituitary gland. Okay, the pituitary here is divided into the front side and the back side. We're talking about the front side that secretes the ACTH. Okay? So its primary role is to stimulate the adrenal cortex to produce cortisol and also sometimes androgens in the males. So from the brain, it goes down to this organ that is located on top of your kidneys. From the brain down to the abdomen where you have the kidneys and stimulates these adrenal glands to produce cortisol. So key functions of this is stress response. So it signals the adrenal glands to release cortisol during physical or emotional stress. Metabolism. The cortisol now increase blood glucose by promoting gluconeogenesis. Okay, this will now mobilize fat stores. It will now what? Influence protein metabolism. Okay, so it will now make, I think, production of glucose. Probably from also non-glucose sources. So immune regulation also dampens inflammation. It modulates immune activity. Sometimes it's your immune system that is overreacting, that you have some inflammation somewhere. So if it is reduced, it can handle some of those issues. Circadian rhythm too. It levels usually increases in the morning and declines at the night. Do you understand? This also forms a basis of, if you want to do cortisol test, there are some times when you should do it. Okay. ACTH eases your stress. Okay. So regulation. The hypothalamus releases what? Corticotropin-releasing hormone. That's CHR. Say it. Okay. That's that hypothalamus. From the hypothalamus, it goes to the pituitary gland. It's the pituitary gland at the front. That's the anterior one. Produces the ACTH. Okay. So corticotropin-releasing hormone stimulates pituitary gland to release ACTH. ACTH will now go down to the adrenal glands, which are on top of the kidneys. It will stimulate them to now produce cortisol. So clinical significance is, if you have high ACTH, of course you have high cortisols. You see that in Cushing's disease, Cushing's syndrome, and the rest. If you have, okay, that's if you have high ACTH and high cortisol. There's sometimes there's high ACTH, but the adrenal glands are not responding to the ACTH. So there's low cortisol. You see that in Addison's disease. We'll talk about all those diseases, you don't have to worry. Then sometimes we have low ACTH and low cortisol. It shows you that there's insufficiency. But sometimes if you have what? Low ACTH, there's nothing stimulating the adrenal glands, but the adrenal glands are still making high cortisol. That's to tell you that what? There's a cancer that is making the cells in the adrenal glands to go out of check and balance. So there's no check and balance. The cells are just acting on their own. Okay. So you test it. You can do a blood test to check for the levels of adrenocorticotropic hormone, and the normal levels are roughly between 7 to 63 picograms, per meals. Okay, and also stimulation or suppression tests, where ACTH stimulation checks if you put ACTH, will the adrenal glands respond and produce cortisol. Suppression now, you're now trying to say, if I suppress ACTH, will cortisol also be suppressed? So all those tests, we do them to test for different conditions, and you guys don't have to worry. We'll come to all of them pretty soon.